Greetings all, it's DFuxa. Welcome to February of 2017. This is probably the first real announcement video for this year, and basically the first one of that'll basically be covering new videos I'll basically be doing for the year as well. I got a lot of rulers that'll basically be popping out in February and March, but for now let's just cover a little bit about some of the recent going-ons and stuff like that. First and foremost, the most recent one to talk about would be the fact that my channel is basically hit 1,000 subscribers, or it did last night. It's currently showing 999 right there, but it did hit 1,000 subscribers, and as a result, I decided to throw out the announcement about my free game giveaway. That I basically did is like small little videos over here. Now, I'll note that if you want to enter this giveaway over here, there's a couple of threads you can go to in like the Tales of Magiel board or in the Rolig discussion group. And for the most part, I'm basically looking to give away Barony, Proforce, Runestone Keeper, or Star Wars Rogue. These games will be given away on February 2nd, so just enter your names now in one of these places, or send a post to me somehow through my email, for example. And for the most part, all the stuff will be happening on Thursday for the draw and such. All right, so that's basically those things. I'll note by the way that Rimworld's basically done and over with. This series I basically did throughout December and into January, and for the most part, I'm pretty happy about the videos I basically put out. Alpha 16 sort of came out in the middle of my series, which is kind of a downer, but whatever. The development happens of this game, that's fine, and I basically got through a full series of it, and I'm quite happy about that. So, for the most part, Rimworld, I'm probably not going to come back to it, I don't think, but it was a fun game to basically show off, and I think I did a fairly good job showing it off, so hooray for me, I've showed off a good, sizable playlist for Rimworld here. I'll also note that for January, I was basically showing off Wayward. Wayward is, of course, a survival roguelike that I basically received for free from a developer a long time ago. I decided I basically start doing a playlist for it in January, and for the most part, I got a few videos up there already. Now, I'll note that if today I wasn't if I wasn't doing this video right here, this announcement video right now, I'd be putting out another Wayward video. But I decided that I'm not going to do any Wayward videos for this week because I have all these announcement videos I want to do. Basically because it's a new month for February and I have new video games to show off for you guys in the near future. I also have the games giveaway, and I want to make a separate day video for that. Now, I should probably go into a little more detail about it as well. Basically, Wayward is being shown on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and Wednesdays and Thursdays are the day I basically designate for special videos. So this announcement video, for example, but also for Kickstarter videos or for showcase videos. If a developer has games that they want me to showcase, I'll be throwing them out on these days. If there's a new Kickstarter video that comes out in early access on Steam or even fully release, I'll probably do a specific videos for those days as well. So don't be surprised if you don't see a lot of Wayward videos in the near future. There is, I think, going to be a couple events like that happening in February. For example, I think one of the games that I kickstarted called For the King will be coming out on early access in Steam, and as a result, I'll probably do a video for it on Wednesday, the Thursday of that week when it comes out. All right, so that's basically a little bit about Wayward, though. I'll note that Wayward is a pretty fun game, and it's nowhere near finished. I'll probably go through it a little bit until I die, and I may do another run after that. We'll see. Depends on how well I do with my first run. For the most part, though, that's Wayward, and I'll just leave it right there. Now let's talk about a few the new series I'll basically be doing, as well as a couple the old ones, I guess. So first thing first, here's Proforce. I did a couple of videos with Magamar and Chorus Knight of Proforce a while back, and I do plan to actually do more videos for Proforce in the future, but the problem with it is that, well, let's just put it this way. It's a game that's being played with 3 people, and it requires that all 3 people be available to play the game. That means that I have to have Magamar, myself, and Chorus Knight all on at the same time to play this game, and that's been a little bit difficult in the past little while because of real life. Anyhow, for the most part, if I get a chance to, I'm planning to do more Proforce in the future, but for now, there's just those 2 videos, unfortunately, and that's all there's going to be until we get another video out. When I do have a time, though, and when Magamar isn't on, I have played a little bit of Lost Castle with Chorus Knight, though. And Lost Castle is essentially another multiplayer game, sort of in the same vibe as Rampage Knights. Essentially, a game you have a beat 'em up where you go through random stages, beating up little enemies that basically come at you. We haven't gone very far or done very well, I guess, in it just yet. It's a much harder game than compared to say Rampage Knights, but at the same time, it is a fun game to play all around. And for the most part, as we basically like can't play with like Magmar, we'll basically try and like put out these videos for you guys to watch instead, and we'll see how far we get with that for now. And then of course there's the main series I'll basically be doing for the month of February and March. So first things first, Hive Jump. Hive Jump came out in January, I believe, on the 18th, and for most part, it was not the most stellar release of the game, but whatever. The game is basically a game I kickstarted a while back, and it basically is like a vibe of like Starship Trooper going through a hive to kill a bunch of bugs that basically threaten humanity and all that. I'll note that for the most part, the main problem with this game is the multiplayer, but the single player is more or less fine. Basically, if you go in single player, you can go through pretty much all the same content as you could in multiplayer, and then some a little bit as well, because there's a few challenges that are single player only. I'll note that all these videos, some of them have been put out already because they were basically really, really buggy, and I put them out for like developers to view already. But for the most part, some of these I'll basically be releasing every Sunday for like February and March, and it'll basically give you a good idea of what the game's like all about, I guess, for the most part. I may do some more videos of Hive Jump after this, by the way. But I guess we'll sort of like separate from this playlist. They'll basically be more or less like, whenever the developer does his weekly stream, whenever he gets back to doing that. And perhaps if there's like new updates and stuff like that, I may like cover new videos for that as well. Now, after Hive Jump on like Mondays and Tuesdays, there's going to be Spelunky HD. For those who remember back in the day, I basically played the classic version of Spelunky, and for basically those who are living on a rock and don't know what Spelunky is, Spelunky is basically a roguelike side-scroller, and well, I shouldn't say side-scroller, it's a platformer. And the game is basically very, very difficult, both the HD version and the classic version. Now, for the most part, I think I managed to get through most of the content that I did in like the HD version as I could with like the classic version. There is some more content in like the HD version that I didn't really show off, but for the most part, you got to see a lot of what the game's all about. And I'm pretty happy about like the playlist I basically put up. For most part, for example, there's a couple of things that are a little bit harder about the HD version than like the classic version, and at the same time, there's some things that are perhaps like harder about the classic version than there is about the HD version. For example, I could probably talk about snakes, for example. Snakes like would randomly stop and moving in like the classic version. They don't stop in like the HD version. They just keep going. Alright, I'm sort of rambling about Spelunky here. Basically, Spelunky will be popping out every Monday and Tuesday. And I think I did a pretty good job showing it off as I did like with the classic version. Hope you guys enjoy it. It'll be like, fun to watch, I hope. Finally, let's talk about a new game called Enemy. So, every Friday and Saturday, Enemy is going to pop out. And this is a very interesting sort of like mashup of ideas, I guess we'll say. Enemy is like a mashup of like XCOM mechanics with like roguelike gameplay in a procedurally destructible world. You'll basically see what all that means when the game basically shows up a little bit on my video playlist. But for now, just to sort of give you a little tidbit about it, it's basically a collection of like ideas of like one's youth. So like the games of one's youth basically compiled into one specific game for like guys to play right now. The enemies, for example, are like derived from like the old classic platformers. They maybe played the fantasy games you played, stuff like that. And the weapons, they're very much the same as well. You have like modern weapons, you have classical weapons, you have futuristic weapons, lots and lots of fun. But anyhow, we'll basically see that when it basically pops out on Fridays and Saturdays. For now, that's basically it for what I'm going to talk about it. Alright, so before I basically end this video, I want to note that some games I'm basically watching out for. As you can see on my desktop here, I basically have Turfing Cycle and Sombringer over here. These are games that were basically games I kickstarted, and they're in early access right now. I'm sort of waiting a little bit for them to come out of early access before doing a like Let's Play series on them, but they look pretty good as they are right now, and they should be a lot of fun when I get into them. I also have Dark Reign 2 here, and for those who don't remember, Dark Reign was a game I basically did as a playlist a little while back. Dark Reign 2 is its sequel, or prequel, shall we say, because it's basically it takes before the events of what happened in Dark Reign. I'm not sure what to say about Dark Reign 2. It's not as good a game as Dark Reign, but at the same time it's a better game in some aspects, like, graphically. I'll just probably jump into a playlist in, like, April, I guess, for it, and I'll basically show off what the game's all about. Anyhow, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my videos thus far. Thank you for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. And we'll see what happens in the future. For now, take care.